If you're an Amazon seller, you totally know the feeling. You find a product, the numbers look amazing, you buy it, and then it just sits there. So today we're going to break down a really simple but powerful framework that'll help you avoid those costly mistakes just by looking beyond the profit margin. This is all about making smarter buying decisions every single time. All right, so let's just kick things off with the one question that seems to trip up almost every new seller. You find a product with a huge return on investment, a super high ROI, and you think, that's it, that's the one. It's a no-brainer, right? Well, as we're about to see, it's really not that simple. And here it is. This right here, focusing only on that juicy profit percentage, that is the number one mistake. It's the trap that leads to buying products that just collect dust in a warehouse, or even worse, products that actively lose you money. This is the classic pitfall, and I'm going to show you exactly how to sidestep it. Okay, let's really dig into this profit trap. It's so easy to fall into because that big profit number feels like a sure thing, doesn't it? But relying on just that one number is kind of like trying to drive a car with only a speedometer. You know how fast you're going, but you have no clue if you're headed straight for a cliff. And here is where it all just clicks into place. That 30% ROI, yeah, it's cool and all, but it means pretty much nothing if the sales volume is super low. If nobody's actually buying the product, that 30% is just a fantasy number on a screen. And check this out. This is the perfect example. Let's look at two scenarios. Both products have the exact same 30% ROI. Product A sells fast. It's got a great sales rank of 3,000. That's a good buy. But look at product B. It sells really slow with a rank of 100,000. All of a sudden, that same 30% ROI looks incredibly risky. Same profit, totally different story. So if profit alone is a trap, what's the way out? Well, the solution is actually a really powerful but simple three-part framework. I want you to think of them as three essential pillars that are going to support every smart buying decision you make. And together, they give you the complete picture. Okay, so pillar number one, this is the one everybody knows, right? It's profit, or ROI. This is your baseline, it's your potential upside. And it's obviously important. I mean, we're all here to make money. But it's just the first piece of the puzzle, not the whole thing. Next up, our second pillar, volume. And we track this with the sales rank. Think of this number as your crystal ball for how fast a product is actually selling. Remember, the lower the number, the faster it's flying off the shelves, which means you get your money back that much quicker. And finally, pillar number 3 is competition, which we measure by the number of other sellers or offers on a listing. This one is absolutely crucial because it tells you who you're up against. A sudden flood of new sellers can trigger a race to the bottom, a price war that can completely vaporize that beautiful ROI you first fell in love with. So, let's put it all together real quick. Pillar 1, profits, asks, what's my potential return? Pillar 2, volume, asks, okay, but how fast will it sell? And pillar 3, competition, asks, and who might try to stop me? If you only look at one of these, you're just guessing. When you look at all three, now that's a strategy. Okay, this is where it gets really good. Knowing the pillars is one thing, but the real secret, the thing that's going to protect your money, is understanding how they all interact with each other. Because these aren't just separate numbers on a screen. They are constantly pushing and pulling on each other. And this is the absolute key right here. How much new competition actually hurts you depends entirely on the sales volume. Think about it. 5 new sellers jumping on a fast-selling item? It's just a ripple. But 5 new sellers on a slow-selling item? That's a tidal wave. So let's walk through what happens with one of those slow-selling products. First, more sellers jump on the listing. Competition spikes. But since the sales are slow, there just aren't enough sales to go around for everybody. New sellers start to panic about their inventory that's just sitting there. And what happens next? They slash their prices to get any sale, the price tanks, and just like that, profits disappear for everyone. So when you know that this can happen, that the price can just tank out of nowhere, how does that change how you look at a product? Well, it forces you to stop dreaming about the best case scenario and start planning for the worst case. It's all about asking yourself, what is my real risk here? And this chart just lays it out perfectly. A good risk might start with a potential 80% ROI. So even if the price drops, your worst case is still a solid 30% profit. You've got a cushion, a safety net. Now look at the bad risk. It starts at 30%, but when that price drops, you're losing money. There's just no room for error. That's a risk you probably don't want to take. All right, so let's say a product passes the 3-pillar test. It's got good profit, great volume, and the competition looks stable. You're ready to buy, right? Well, not so fast. There is one last crucial check you have to make before you pull the trigger. You've got to check the buy box stats. And why? Well, it's not enough to know that a product is selling. You need to know if those sales are actually being shared around, or if one dominant seller is just hogging the spotlight and all the profits. And this is exactly what you want to see, a healthy buy box rotation. See how the sales are distributed? Seller A has a piece, seller B has a piece, and on and on. No single seller is dominating. It's a shared pie, which means if you price competitively, you've got a real shot at getting your slice. The danger zone is when you see a chart where one seller has 50, 60, or even 80% of the pie. That's a listing to avoid. So here are the rules of thumb. Generally, if you see one seller with over 50% of the buy box, you need to be really cautious. Now, there is an exception. If an item sells thousands of times a month, even a tiny slice of that pie can be huge. But the big red flag? A product that sells maybe 100 times a month and one seller is hoarding 80 of those sales? That's a definite no-go. And there you have it. You put all of these pieces together, and suddenly you have a complete, smarter buying framework. This is how you move from just guessing and gambling to making strategic, data-driven decisions that actually work. So let's just run through that final checklist one more time. Step 1, analyze the profit. Is the potential reward actually worth it? Step 2, analyze the volume. Is it going to sell fast enough? Step 3, analyze the competition. Is the market stable? And finally, step 4, check the buy box. Will you actually get a fair chance to make a sale? If you can get a yes on all 4, you've probably found yourself a winner. And at the end of the day, remember that this whole framework is your best defense. It's not just about finding those home run products. It's really about systematically avoiding the bad buys that just eat up your cash. It's about protecting the money you've worked so hard for. So I'll leave you with this one question. The next time you're looking at a product, don't just glance at the profit. Ask yourself, what's the real story that all the data is telling me? Thanks for tuning in.